Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, we are at Road Atlanta, home of the Petit Le Mans, and tonight, home for the CSRL GT round number 5, as we are in the second half of the season. Last week out, we had Circuit Zandvoort, a track that doesn't get utilized too often, but it wasn't really the track that bit some of the drivers. It was the pit road. A lot of your top drivers having some issues on pit road, whether it was unsafe entry, speeding, or unsafe exit, and it really bit a few of the drivers that were in contention for a podium, let alone for the win. And it was Chris Hamilton that didn't really put a foot wrong, had the pole, had to wrestle the lead back from Jancic, but didn't take long to do that, and then he walked away for the victory. But it's going to be, I think, a little bit of the track and possibly the pit as well. I know last year's iRacing Petit Le Mans, I had some issues with the pit road. Let's just put it that way, and I'm still trying to lick my wounds, even though it was half a year ago from that one, because we definitely had a good car in that one. But either way, we got a good one here tonight. Nice size field once again for CSRL. Carl Hamrick joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, last week it was kind of maybe an unknown track for a lot of people. This one a little bit more familiar.
Yeah, this one's a lot familiar, considering they do special events here throughout the year, and very popular. It's a fast track, so the confidence level should be up. But there is some tricky parts to this track, especially in these GT3 cars. Turn 1, obviously very high speed, often coming, off down the hill, down the long straightaway there. You want to carry as much speed as possible, but you need to do it in a manner where your car doesn't end up in the grass over there in turn 1. Then you end up going up the hill and up into turns 2 and 3, a little S section there, but it's like a blind corner. So if you have a lack of experience here, it can be overwhelming at times, exactly knowing where to hit your brake markers, so you make those corners and don't blow through those corners. Then down through a tricky section there, most people call them the S's, which leads you into turn number 5. It's a left-hander uphill, kind of off camber, and it tracks the car out. And if you don't let the car settle before you get on the gas, we've seen it before in multiple other leagues, that's where the big tricky corner is, and that's where it takes the most casualties. There is turn number 5. Then you go down to 6 and 7, pretty self-explanatory corners, down a nice long stretch. Down, they call that's 8 and 9, and down to 10AB, and then up over the hill underneath the bridge to come down the hill to your final approach. But a lot of tricky parts in here, and it is fast. So who can ever be the safest and hit those marks here tonight and take advantage of somebody making mistakes? I think we're going to find out who the winner is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think that the biggest tricky corners, the ones that you mentioned, kind of 2-3 words blind there. I mean, it's really, you have to understand the track. It is one of the blindest corners in racing to go through there, and it really takes some muscle memory once you get it down. And it's even knowing the corners, hitting it the right way every time is not easy. And then the bottom of the S is there, turn number 5. It can hit you in so many different ways. You get on it a little bit too quickly. You get out there on the curb, and that curb can throw you up in the air a little bit and shoot you right to the outside wall. Or you catch that curb just a little bit too little, and it'll loop you around and send it to the left wall instead. But we are done with qualifying here tonight. Before we get to that, we'll take a look at the standings here real quick, and show you who the leaders are. Chris Hamilton takes the lead now in the pro class over Craig Jancic, Colin Winslow, Devin Young, and Rich Petrucco for your top 5. Leo Gausha also there, tied for 5th. In the AM class, it is Eli Singh with the lead, stretching out here a little bit after a good comeback last week to take the win again. Jim Herrick, Christian Ortiz-Torres, Len Lizan, and Randall Ayers for your top 5. That is the standings. Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown of the qualifying results for tonight?
Yeah, quick rundown here of the standings tonight. Obviously, with a few drivers out here, looks like we have 34 drivers in attendance. So, Colin Winslow on the pole here tonight, with Devin Young on the outside. Craig Jancic and newcomer Doug Palmer being there in P number 4. Christopher Hamilton will be in P number 5. Savani Madrigal will be there in 6th. Nicholas Coate will be in 7th. Steve Brown in 8th. Shalik Ali will be in 9th. Bryce Rayner will be in 10th. Anthony Jenkins and Leo Gauch will be there in row number 6. Jason Shermatz and Dan Morera will be there in row number 7. Frank Pisano and Tyler Torville will be in row number 8. Christian Torres, Todd Torville will be in row number 9. Row number 10 will be Herbert Pinata and Dave Jensen. Then next row will be Jason Potts and Brandon Potts. Steve Santana, Randy Ayers will be there back there in row number 12. Jim Herrick and Rena Dilemma will be back there in row 13. Randy Ayers and Ian Southern will be there in row 14. Glenn Lewson, William Burrell, Ian Wilson, Joe Sullivan towards the back here tonight, Jay Little, Paul Bailey, and Stephen Price to round out your 34-car field. So good luck to all the drivers out there, and let's see who can get this thing done.
Yeah, it seemed like the order that you had was just a little bit jumbled up for some of the position, but either way, it's right about where they're going to be starting either way. But
yeah,
this is
SDK bouncing around a little bit on me.
Yep, all good, buddy. Well,
taking their warm-up lap.
It's good. I mean, just listen to you run through these names and well, just
laugh.
No, yeah, putting your little Jimmy Cooler spin on their names. It's good stuff.
Hey. You know, I haven't had anybody come back and say, don't do that. So once, if they want to reach out, put it out in chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm okay. I can take criticism fairly well.
Now, I do have a question here. Is this a new pace car for iRacing? I don't remember that BMW.
You know, I think it might be, Carl. I don't think I've seen it here. Maybe when they selected the pace car for the race,
I didn't even think that was an option, but that's kind of nice. And this could be the first time I think ever that we've seen an actual car for the pace car here. I mean, this is unless maybe we got somebody out there driving the pace car and leading these guys around. Who knows? That could be the case too. But I mean,
Hamilton is back in P4 and 5. So
well, we're about to get this thing underway, coming through the final chicane. It's going to be in the hands of Barney. He's got the typical flag ready to drop this green here for 45 minutes of racing at Road Atlanta, and we are racing. It's going to be a crazy, hectic start coming down through that final corner. Just before you get that, just before you get to that, that green flag is not easy. But you see him now coming up through turn 2, and the camera here doesn't really give it much justice. I mean, it looks like it's easy to see, but here turn 3 can be absolutely chaos, and you see that the drivers being kind of aggressive here and not exactly just light footing it through there. But everyone makes it through down into the S's the first time. Does everybody make it through? Yeah, looks like Jason Potts is not going to make it through the end of the S's, but good start from our front runners here, as it is Colin Winslow in the lead. Now heading down the backstretch, but definitely some jumbling around right behind him. Craig Jancic, Devin Young battling it out right now. And it looks like they will get in line, but Colin Winslow has got that 19 out there looking mighty fine right now. The Porsche trying to fend off the two Acuras right behind him.
Yeah, doing what he needs to do. Got a nice clean jump, so obviously it feels good to be out front in that clean air, and hopefully the drivers behind you battle like they are. You know, the drivers are wanting to catch that leader so he doesn't get away here, as it is very early in this 45-minute race. Obviously, we're not complete. It looks like we just need to check on Potts and see what happened to him. It does look like he just went off. I don't see him going into the pits, so back out there just a little bit behind here tonight.
Take a look back now and see what exactly happened here to the 57, and tight right there, but then maybe got a little bit of help right there.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely got some help. And I'm not sure who that was. If that was, it wasn't Bailey because he was already in the pits, but a little bump, and whoever was lost their front bumper in the process. We'll get back up here and see the battle here as Ortiz Torres, 16th overall, 3rd in the M class, but we had another issue here while we were checking on that one. Top running M class driver Doug Palmer, and he was up there pretty far into the field, and it loops it around. Turn number 5 claiming its first unofficial victim here tonight, and definitely looks like that Porsche is banged up here a little bit. Palmer falling all the way back to 19th. He's going to have to try and lick his wounds here. Hopefully it didn't do too much damage. He can at least make it to his first pit stop. But this is a case here, Jimmy, where kind of same thing as last week. You get involved in that early incident. It may just be worth, Doug coming in now. Maybe the next lap. Come in there, just rip off that Band-Aid, get in there, get that clean car, get some clean air, and get back out there and try and run your way up through the field through the pit cycle. But right now, Colin Winslow leads the way. Jancic, Young, Hamilton, and Brown from the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well just maybe take that lap that you're trying to get back around and get things all settled, but get your pit stop kind of ready. How much fuel you need to the end, and I doubt this early anybody would take tires, but go in there, get that fast repair, get back out. You're gonna fall behind the field, but it gives you time to kind of catch up, and then when everybody goes in for their pit stop, because they don't have enough fuel to make it the whole way, but they can go in and fill up, and then they will have enough to go the whole way. So, and you can have an early incident. It does. That's one thing about having an early incident here. It can be beneficial at the end because you don't have to make a pit stop again. So, but right now, Carl Winslow doesn't need any kind of pit stop. He's out front over Craig Jancic, Young. Let's see, did that update? Is Young up top? No, is he? Hold on.
No, Young is in
it is
third
Devin
place.
Young is up there in P3.
Yeah, P3.
Then Christopher Hamilton in 4th, and then Shivani is back there in P number 5. So a lot of good battling going on back and forth. I'm sure a lot of drivers trying to survive a little bit. You can see somebody down to the inside, or maybe letting people go by there for turn number 1. It can be tricky. You can get a pass there, but you really gotta have a sit and be confident of your car.
Yeah, I made the mistake of jumping on board or jumping in there with Jimmy Herrick when he was running decently, and he got passed by about 3 or 4 cars there in a quick span. As Doug Palmer has had another incident, and this time he has had to tow it back to pit lane. Was this turn number 5? Nope, it was coming down through the S's, a big snap of the car, and man, what could have been a fantastic night here for Palmer, starting up there in P4, is going to end very, very early here tonight. But what that's going to do is give Jason Shermatz a chance to maybe claim this win. He is running back there just outside the top 10 in 11th. But right behind him, Anthony Jenkins already looking to the inside and looking to take that position away. And check on something because, yeah, thought I had him keyed up wrong. Yeah, Anthony Jenkins is in the pro class. I thought I changed that last week, but apparently I did and didn't save it. So we'll go ahead and get that corrected right now. Yeah, there's always something.
Hey, just want to give a shout out to all the fans out there that are watching. I see about 22 people out there. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up. It really does help the algorithm out here at CRN for all the drivers here that participate with CSRL. So it's definitely beneficial, not just to CRN, but to the drivers out there as well. So when somebody comes in and looks for some iRacing videos, could end up finding themselves a new league and something else. But it looks like Jim Herrick has finally got himself in the wall. So a bit of a pickle as he's trying to work his way back, whether to back that thing up and take it to the pits. But yeah, just want to give everybody a shout out. And if you weren't able to make it here to the race tonight, I'm glad you're in attendance on here on CRN. But obviously a huge shout out to everybody that supports these drivers.
Yeah, that was pretty much a worst case scenario there for Jim Herrick. Not only did he lose it going through turn number 5, we'll show it to you here one more time, but he found pretty much the only gap that didn't have any tires. And he found the actual wall right there. So yeah, pretty much worst case scenario for Herrick, but you see he did get back up and going there with the McLaren. Back up at the front, Colin Winslow is your leader by a half a second. You got Craig Jansen right behind him. Kevin Young, Chris Hamilton, and Savani Madrigal for that top 5. But it's really a 4-car breakaway because Savani Madrigal, you see him back here. He's got about 2 seconds in between him and Chris Hamilton in the front. Steve Brown, Bryce Reiner, Leo Gausha, Nicholas Cote, and Sheik Ali for your top 10. Then looking at the AM class, you got Jason Shermatz leading from P number 14. in the M class, and then a couple positions back, Christian Ortiz Torres in second place, Todd Torville right behind him in third, Steve Santana, Dave Jansen, Brandon Potts, Randy Ayers, Glenn Lazan, Ian Southern, and Ian Wilson for your top 10 in the M class. And I didn't, you know, I know some countries have certain names that are kind of common for their nationality. Apparently, at least on the iRacing side, is Ian popular for Canada? Because we got Ian Southern and Ian Wilson back to back here, both from Canada.
I mean, I don't know. So I mean, it just depends on, I think, the year, a lot of like the kind of like the time frame when people were born as well. You know, I think, you know, names go through like a popular kind of phase. You know what's out there. Like my youngest son is 10, and before he was born, obviously, you know, my wife was always like, "Oh, what should we name him?" So, you know, we came up with names, you know, girls' names and boys' names, and Jackson was on very high on our list because my name is Jimmy, so we started with J, so I figured another J. But anyways, when it came down to it, when he was born, we wanted him to be different, so we ended up changing his name when he was born to Trevor. So, but yeah, I mean, just goes to, you know, popularity, I think, and you know, it could be that time frame, or it is, you know, a popular name. Like some countries, you know, obviously they have very popular names throughout, you know, their countries. But yeah, it looks right now like Ian is popular, and they're not doing too bad either. They're back there and battling for 24th and 25th.
And my wife wanted to name our son Bryce before he was eventually named Colton, and I didn't want to name him Bryce because at that time, being a big Phillies fan, Bryce Harper played for the Nationals and did not like him one bit at all. Well, I'm going to find out that my son gets born, he's named Colton, and then Bryce Harper goes to the Phillies, and well, now of course Bryce Harper is my son's favorite player. So go figure.
Full circle.
Yep,
Just
yep.
a little bit in your face a little bit.
So we went a little bit more neutral with our daughter's name of Paisley. We figured it's not going to ruffle any kind of feathers. But anyway, back to the racing here. It is still Winslow holding down the fort at the front, but you see right there, Jancic is not letting him go, and Devin Young having a good run here too, the other Canadian in the field, as he is in third place right now, hanging on to the back of these guys for dear life. I don't know if Jancic got a tow rope out there or what the case is, but Devin Young doing a good job here, hanging on. And then Chris Hamilton is actually slipping back here a little bit. Last week's winner in fourth place right now. Maybe just, you know, kind of playing it cautious here, maybe trying to save the equipment here a little bit before he comes into the pits. But we haven't really talked much about this pit road. The pit road entry is not easy here. I mean, you come up and out of the up underneath the bridge there and come up over. It's kind of a blind entry into pit lane, and especially if somebody's following you close, if you don't call it out, you're getting run over.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks you want to call it out. I know a lot of drivers don't like to give away their strategy, especially throughout the field. Maybe some of the top runners, just whoever's around them sees them go in. And obviously, if you got some kind of program in the background, you might hear leaders pitting, and if you know who's leading, obviously you know who's coming in. But it kind of helps with thoughts and strategy last minute, and just whether you want to decide to come in or not. But yeah, it's definitely a pit stop that you want to call out, and you can see them when we get there, when they get to that point, as it looks like leaders might be heading down towards there now. So you'll see when you come up over that bridge off to their right-hand side, it's like a pretty sharp entry, and then it's not a very short entry, so they got time that they need to get through it quickly, but there's a sharp right-hand turn at the bottom, and if you're not careful, you'll find yourself in the wall.
So far, so good, as it's, we said this before, tracks where people got a lot of familiarity with it. Can be a blessing, or it can be just completely damaging, and you can have just overconfidence. But it looks like the drivers here tonight at CSRL are doing pretty good. A couple incidents here. I want to jump back to Jason Potts having some issues here coming down, and we'll see if we can catch the actual incident here. Maybe maybe just a little bit slow trying to stay out the leader's way, and he ended up towing back to the pits to get out of everyone's way. Jim Herrick, unfortunately, did have to bring the 40 Racewear car in, and then not sure what exactly happened, but he ended up jumping back into the pits from there. So certainly some issues for Herrick here tonight. But other than that, I mean, it's been pretty clean. It's been pretty, you know, consistent here, especially from these top guys.
Paul Bailey. Yes, this looks like Steve Santana and Paul Bailey come victim into a wreck here on the track as well.
And it's turn 5 again, and almost a replica of Jim Herrick's crash there, as at least Santana got into the tire barrier instead of the actual wall there. But take it back live here, and we've got a battle and a new leader at the front. Craig Jancic making the pass for the lead. And turn number 1, we'll take a look and show you the pass here. As Jancic looked to the inside coming down the front stretch, got to the inside in turn 1. Winslow tried to fight him off, but it's a real tough corner to try and make a run from the middle, outside, whatever you want to call it there, and just falls in line and heads down the S's. So Jancic now to the lead, trying to regain his championship lead after Chris Hamilton taking it from him this past week with the win. And it was really, in no small part, Craig Jancic's fault, because he was up there, he was still battling, still hanging there with Chris, but a pit road penalty cost the 88 possibly a chance at the win, and maybe still on top of the point standings had he not had the issue. And here tonight, he's got the 88 out front, but Winslow is not just going to back off. These drivers right here, Winslow and Jancic, have had so many battles here in CSRL, and we could be looking at another one here, but Jancic's trying to do his best to get that Acura up to speed and try to run away from the Porsche.
Yeah, and just what he needs to do, just try to get things done. But right now, wow, looks like Devon Young is having an incident again.
Someone from Bailey, I don't see Devon Young still right there in 3rd place. I didn't see any issues. I did look away for a second, but looks like Paul Bailey had a bit of an issue here. And he too decided to stop and tow it back to pit lane. Ian Wilson through the S turn here, and just a little bit too wide coming out of there, but still keeping that car clean. Another battle possibly developing is, well, more than developing, as we got a pass there as Brandon Potts gets around the 692 of Dave Jensen. That is for 4th place in the AM class, as now with Frank Bassano making the pass on Jason Shermatz. We've got pretty much all of our AM class drivers all together, 1st through 13th, which make up overall 14th through 26th. They're all in line, but Shermatz has got a 2.5-second lead over Ortiz Torres, and then another 2 seconds back to Todd Torville in 3rd. Brandon Potts, Dave Jensen making up that top 5. But in front of the field, Jancic now out to a 0.7 of a second lead, still within the drafting range for Winslow, but only just. So he's got to keep this thing wound up, and this could be a product of that Porsche kind of falling off a little bit. We've talked to some of the drivers, and they say that Porsche is fast in the beginning, but the tires on that Porsche seem to wear out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. It's you really go out there and you get that, I think, this false sense that it's fast all the time. You know, you get some early laps in, and you know, you do real well. So if you don't have time to practice out, you know, a stint, half a tank, a full tank, whatever you're going to be, before you get new tires or fuel, you definitely want to try to do that, because you know, it obviously could lead to this. And it looks like the Acura is not quite having as many issues. I mean, it's hard to tell. Some of these drivers are so good and talented, but Carl Winslow doing a fantastic job of maybe just laying back just a little bit. Oh, Carl Winslow. Carl Winslow. God,
Colin Winslow. There you go.
Colin Winslow.
I've done it once or twice myself. Exactly. Good times.
Putting some age in myself here. I grew up to that show a lot.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm right there with you. Well, we've got Devin Young now is starting to bring his Acura up there a little bit closer, trying to battle with Colin Winslow and try and get there in the second place. Another battle a little bit further back in the top 10 here. Nicholas Cote trying to reel in Leo Gausha for 7th place. And then just outside the top 10, Dan Herrera right behind Tyler Torville as they try and chase down Anthony Jenkins, the last car in the top 10. But we are already 18 minutes into this race and getting close to pit stops, possibly maybe in the next maybe 2 or 3 laps. When we'll be hitting that halfway point, we'll see the first round of pit stops. But again, I mean, we'll hop on board with these drivers when the leader comes back around here. We'll hop on board and show you how difficult this track is, let alone when you're trying to come into the pits here. It's just it's blind. I mean, it's coming into the pits is just as blind as turns 2 and 3 there. But right now it's looking pretty good here for Jancic, doing a good job and starting to stretch out just a little bit, about 3/4 of a second right now. And it could be a little bit from Colin Winslow looking at his rearview mirror at Devin Young getting a little bit bigger.
I made a little bit of pressure. Never hurt anybody, and definitely it could help. It could help you, obviously, if somebody makes a mistake. But it's gonna be pretty tough there. Colin doesn't make many mistakes. It's gonna really take Devin to be confident with the car and get it down there. He's got a pretty good run on him here, and he might be at that point where he starts looking. There it is, move down this front stretch, but looks quickly, but pulls back in behind Colin as they enter the little chicane there to go up the hill.
So we'll take a lap around here with Craig Jancic. And this final corner here can be had at full throttle, but you got to make sure you enter it correctly. Down the front stretch here into turn number 1, all the way to the left as much as you can to try and open up that entry. You're going to drift the car out, but you got to get back over to the right as much as possible to help you out with turn 2. You see how blind it is right there, picking up turn number 3, getting over the curbing a little bit. And then here it's just sweeping back and forth through the S's. Try and keep as much speed as possible through here. You can take some of the curbs depending on the vehicles. Some of these vehicles do not like the curbs, but you see, obviously the Acura doesn't mind as the Acura as Jancic's all over the curbs coming out through turn number 5, then down into the double right-hander. Just pick up the throttle a little bit in between the corners here, and then all the way down at least in the second gear, and sometimes you need to get first just to get that thing rotated through. And then finally you get a chance to breathe here a little bit. Coming down the backstretch, this is a good opportunity if you're close enough to try and pick up the draft of the car in front of you. This is a track where you can get enough of a draft to kind of reel you in here a little bit and take a look down the hill, hard braking down into the little bus stop, little S-turn right here. But then here's where you want to take a look. You come up through underneath here and you can't even see it, but on the right-hand side there, as soon as you come up over there, you see those dashed lines, that's where the pit entry is. So you have to be slow, you have to be on that inside. And again, I mean, I know you don't want to give away strategy or anything like that, but sometimes safety first. And if you're, for instance, you're Colin Winslow and you got Devin Young right behind you, if you're coming into the pits, I'd be on the radio letting Young know that I'm coming in so he isn't running over.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's a safe bet. Obviously he's going to see you go in anyway, so if you can at least say something, going down into the little chicane or bus stop area, whatever you want to call it, that way they know when that you leave that, go up that hill, that you're going to be to the right. Because I've been caught as an LMP2 driver on this track for a 12-hour event, where you go into the inside and then the GT3 just is looking to get in the pits, and they forgot, they didn't call it out. So you really got to pay attention to the cars that are around you and really think about being in that inside, because it's almost a death trap. If somebody's trying to go in the pits and you try to pass there.
May have a pass here as Young goes to the inside, down into the final corner, and take that. That is a cojones pass right there for sure, as Young is going to move himself into second place. But this little battle has given a nice little gap to our leader now. Craig Jancic out there, 2-second lead in front. Dan Barrera is going to be the first one of the pros to come into the pits here. Actually, yeah, Bryce Reiner came in last lap as well. Jason Shermat's still leading over here in the M class by now 4.7 seconds. So good lead here for the 77, Todd Torville, Brandon Putz, Dave Jensen for your top 4, and then Randy Ayers rounding out that top 5. They're all staying out here. But we're past the halfway point now, so I think this is about the time where you're going to see some heavy flow into the pits. I think you're going to see a lot of drivers in the back half of the M class. Looks like they are starting to make their way into pit lane. But
Yeah,
right now, no move at the
down.
front, but we had
an
an issue here at the front. As SDK not let me go back here, but I don't see what exactly happened, but okay, never mind. Now it corrected itself. It wasn't showing Craig Jancic at the top of me. It was showing Colin Winslow for a second, so just SDK being SDK, I guess. But Colin Winslow is going to be the first one from the front there to come into the pits. Nicholas Cope going to join him this time by as well. But really surprised we haven't seen more drivers in yet from that top 10 here in the pro class. So it's going to be Craig Jancic out front, Devin Young, Chris Hamilton, Siviani Madrigal, Steve Brown now currently for the top 5.
Yeah, obviously, strategy here, and we won't call it out if you're just still on the track, but obviously all the drivers, choosing whether it's just fuel, a tire or two. I mean, there's all kinds of choices, but obviously trying to utilize whatever time they have for taking the fuel required to finish to perform whatever changes they may need in that car. So, yeah, back on track, Colin Winslow. So he's got to take advantage of some newer tires and maybe be a little bit easier, not too much easier on him, as he still has 20 minutes remaining here to the end of this race.
Yeah, and it's really tough. I'm trying to figure out if you're going to take tires or not, as it looks like leader Craig Jancic still going to stay out for another lap here. So maybe the Audi's just getting, or the Acura's getting a little bit better fuel mileage, or maybe he's just comfortable out there, as Siviani Madrigal, the third running Acura right now, is going to come into the pits. Leo Gausha, Sheik Ali also going to come in. Anthony Jenkins in this time, and Frank Pisano also in from that top 10. Have not seen the top 4 right now for the M class, but here they come as well. Jason Shermat's now coming into the pits. Todd Torville in this time as well. So starting to get busy, but your top 4 overall right now have yet to come into the pits, and that is Jancic, Young, Hamilton, and Brown. Brandon Potts stays out there in his Acura for another lap, and he is going to be currently your leader in the M class. Winslow is going to shuffle back up to 5th overall, which is going to end up being a little bit further up once these drivers come into the pits. But the question is, where would Lee come out? Because right now, Jancic kind of deal with a little bit of traffic here, could slow him up just a little bit, and that's kind of what you want when you come in for that short pit. You want to come out there in some clean air as much as possible, put down some banger laps, and hopefully you can take that pass back without actually having to pass him on track. But how about this? Jancic out there yet for another lap, and Evan Young is going to be coming into the pits. Chris Hamilton into the pits as well. We'll take a look and see. It looks like Steve Brown, not sure what happened to Brown here, but he has got some major damage on the front of that car, so he couldn't come into the pits anytime sooner here. I'm sure he'll take his fast repair and get back out there. Brandon Potts, your leader in the M class, we'll take a look and see if he comes in this time by. And a little bit slow up and over there, so it looks like, yeah, he is going to bring that Acura in to the pits. And that's just going to leave 2 drivers out there, unless Randy Ayers brings in, and he indeed will. Craig Jancic leading this race and is yet to come into the pits. Maybe he's happy with how he feels out there and in regards to the traffic, but I'm sure we'll see him in this time by, as we're already more than 27 minutes into this race, and he's got a lot of traffic coming up here. So
Yeah, I mean, it could be looking at just what needs to be done, like as far as being in the car and being able to find that opening to come in, you know, and he's running pretty decent laps still. I don't think he's far off pace. Let me look. Come on.
Well, he is in the pits this time and looks to have kept it clean, at least coming in. Doesn't want to have a penalty like he did last week that took him out of the running. We'll tell you that Devin Young did get out in front of Colin Winslow, but, well, only just, as we've got a battle down at the backstretch here. Devin Young on the right, Colin Winslow on that inside, but you can certainly fight it if you want to on that outside, but Devin Young going to give that position back up to Colin Winslow. So Winslow now in front for all the cars that have come into the pits. Where will Craig Jancic come out as here comes Winslow and Young onto the front stretch. Craig Jancic coming out of the pits. It looks like he is going to hold on to the lead, as now the question is how quick can he get those tires up to temp, as he's got Winslow, Young, and even Hamilton joining this battle here as well. I mean, we were saying that Hamilton kind of, you know, off the pace a little bit, maybe just hanging back. Well, it looks like he's kind of found a little bit of pace in that Porsche coming the second half of this race. He's right up on second and third place, but they are 3.7 seconds adrift of the leader, Jancic.
Yeah, Jancic really stretching it out, using I think that clean air, and I think the time being out front to his advantage, even though he stayed out just a little bit longer. His times were still just as quick as almost his best lap, so it definitely was not a bad move at all. Making some time up, and obviously with having that pit issue last week was kind of a burner for Craig, but to see him out here getting kind of a redemption on himself is a good thing. So good job there by Craig Jancic in that number 88, as he is currently leading over Colin Winslow, Devin Young, Christopher Hamilton, and Savani for your top 5.
This is a epic battle right here, as Brown trying to do everything he can to keep Jenkins behind him, at a good defense down there into the chicane, as Anthony Jenkins going to have to hold back and now try and hold off Bryce Reiner. And this is the battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th overall, as Reiner there. I mean, I've seen moves like that just be dummies, but that was pretty aggressive going back and forth there. So I don't know if I'd buy that if I was in the corner for Jenkins, but a good battle right here. Brown got that car all fixed up and was able to hold off the little charge there from Jenkins. Now, can he run down Nicholas Cote, who was about 1.7 seconds up in front? But, and you see how rough it can be going through turn 5. I do not envy these drivers. Turn 5 was not fun. I mean, I would much rather give up 2, 3, 4 tenths of a second just to get out of that corner safely.
Yeah, it's a trickery. Turn 5 is can be the death of you quickly, and probably one of the few spots when you do lose it, you just don't have the opportunity to catch yourself.
Battle again down into the chicane. We'll see if Jenkins can do anything this time. But no, once again, Brown just enough rotation through the left-hand part of the chicane. He's going to hold on to 8th place, but certainly a good battle brewing right here. Another battle is still shaping up at the front of the field. Winslow still holding off Devin Young and Chris Hamilton, but they are not far behind at all. So we'll keep an eye on those times. We'll keep an eye on this battle right here, as that got very close heading into turn number 3. Jenkins had to back out of it once again, but it seems like through the second sector of this track here is really where that Porsche comes alive for Jenkins. Or that happens right there. Steve Brown meets turn number 5 and not the right way, and unfortunately some heavy damage to that already fast repaired McLaren, and it's going to leave the battle just to now Jenkins and Reiner, which Reiner was able to make the pass there on Jenkins. So not sure if Jenkins had to blow up there a little bit to let him go by, but here's how that pass happened. And right there, yeah, you see Jenkins had to check up, and then big move there with a lap car right in front of him that gets split. and Reiner moves up into 8th. I send a shout out to all the fans out there watching, like Jimmy did earlier, and I want to thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that's here and has to offer us. We've got a little bit of oval, a little bit of road, both on our schedule currently for 2025. We got the Core Xfinity Series on Tuesday nights. We got right here the CSRL GT Series on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we got our double feature as we got road and oval, as we got the VVR, Virtual Velocity Racing, back in action for race number 2 on Thursday night. And then right about at the same time is the Core GT Series. So if you like road or oval, we got you covered through the middle of the week for the time being. And it's a lot of good racing, no matter what you're watching. We got some good racing right here, as this is the battle for second place. Devin Young to the inside. Good battle through the chicane, and this is just letting Chris Hamilton sneak right up in there. And Ray Jancic not just going to lose second, could be losing third as well. That got spicy coming out of the final corner, but Hamilton going to move into third. We'll see if he can hang with Devin Young and maybe try and make a pass to get up there, but Hamilton's coming to life in the second half and at least moving himself into the podium spots right now. And Winslow starting to go backwards. The man that's going even further forwards, 4 seconds in the lead. Greg Jancic, your leader here, and then you look down in the AM class, Jason Stermatz, 6 seconds in front of second place Christian Ortiz Torres. Third in the AM class, Brandon Potts at the moment, but we've still got about 10 minutes plus, as I like to call it, stoppage time here in the race here. As of course, you know, it's basically the 45 minutes plus a lap. Once you get close to that, they'll get the white flag and finally complete this race. But it's been a pretty good one here. I mean, turn 5 has claimed its victims, but not as many as I expected.
Yeah, no, they're doing a really good job here tonight on that tricky corner and just the track in general. So, you know, you can't ask for a better group of drivers just getting it done here tonight. 34 minutes completed so far, so working on almost 35. So still 10 minutes to go. Craig Jancic out front over Devin Young, Christopher Hamilton, and Kyle Winslow back there in P number 4. So definitely a lot of good things going on. Your top driver in, I believe, the AM class is going to be currently Anthony Jenkins.
No, it is Jason Stermatz. Anthony Jenkins was incorrect, and that's one I had to correct there. So yeah, it is Jason Stermatz, the man on the screen right now, currently in 13th place. But we'll see. It looks like still a battle here for second place, as Devin Young not being able to get away from Chris Hamilton, and Hamilton not being able to get away from Colin Winslow just yet. Another battle back in 10th and 11th place right now. Tyler Torville in the 22 in 10th place. Right behind him, Dan Herrera trying to run it down, trying to get himself into that top 10. And you know, there's we've said it before, whether it's, you know, a classroom, whether it's AM or pro, no matter what, every position is big. And really what it comes down to, typically, of course, you want to get the win. If not, you want to try and get a podium and then top 5. But a top 10 on a track that maybe you're not feeling it, or maybe you're just, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're really feeling it and you're just outside it. It's amazing how much different it feels finishing 10th compared to 11th.
Yeah, it's you know, you try to do your best every week. You know, it's you know, maybe last season you ran the same track, maybe you ran a little bit farther back, so you're trying to better yourself, or you know, or maybe you're not having a great night and you started a lot better than you started last season, but you find yourself in the back. So I always out there learning, trying to do your best, and it's you know, the simple case here, I'm sure a lot of drivers are getting their thing done and want to finish the best possible, even if it's a personal best.
This is the battle for 10th and 11th right now, but not too far in front of him is Anthony Jenkins, as coming through the turn 6 and 7 complex right now as we up on board with the drone out here. And a good look at the battle and look all the way down the backstretch there here at Road Atlanta. Really beautiful facility here, beautiful track, and a fun one. If you can get it down pat, if you start working on getting that muscle memory in there, especially for the beginning of the lap here, it's really kind of almost survive as fast as you can through the first half of this track, and then the second half kind of opens up a little bit for you. It's just got get the double right-hander 6 and 7. You got all the way down the backstretch. You got kind of a low chicane to finish out the lap, but nothing too crazy. And then probably the last corner can catch you if you're not taking it correctly. But ultimately, the first half of this lap, I mean, even turn 1, if you don't take turn 1 the right way, you can easily push out and get out there in the grass. But 1, 2, 3, the yeses, and then if you can survive turn 5, it's kind of the first time you can, okay, I made it another lap through Atlanta.
Yeah, it's a great track. It's one of my favorite for sure, and I always look forward to this special event here.
Battle brewing here for the last spot on the podium. Hamilton has it. Winslow wants it back, but the time is starting to run out here as we're coming up on 6 minutes plus a lap here to finish this thing out. The lead is kind of holding steady. It's right now 3.8 seconds for Craig Jancic out there in the lead. Devin Young cutting in just a little bit, but it could be Jancic just kind of keeping that car underneath him and not wearing out the tires too much, and just keeping him there just in case Devin Young makes a late race charge. But he has kind of secured himself in second place, 1.2 seconds ahead of this battle right here between Hamilton and Winslow. And all 4 of these drivers are well ahead of the rest of the pack. You got another 8.7 seconds to get back to Silviani Madrigal in 5th place, and then another almost 6 seconds to 6th place, Leo Gausha. So the top 5 kind of really spread themselves out here tonight. But it's been a good one for sure out here at Road Atlanta, and I would say, again, a lot more drivers surviving than I expected. Turn 5 is just, it's a bear. It's so tough to get through that corner because you want to take so much speed getting out of there. You get a nice little straightaway down to 6 and 7. So it's a place where you feel like you want to get a lot of speed out of there. You want to get a good run down that straightaway, but you take it wrong just a little bit. We've seen a few guys, 3 or 4 now, loop it by just getting up on that curbing on the exit just a little bit the wrong way, and it can snap right over into the tire barriers. Or, unfortunately, if you're Steve Brown, you can find that little bit of a gap in between the tire barriers there and really hurt the car.
Yeah, you really push the limits, obviously because it's uphill, and it's just really catching that corner, being able to catch that grip and don't get on the power too soon, or it really just tosses that car for a ride, and it can send you around. If you go off to the right, it doesn't seem to be too bad, but it's when it snaps and it throws you across to the left to that wall. There's no stopping it, and it usually ends up in a tragedy. Messed up steering or no wing on your car or something. So, but yeah, good job by these drivers here tonight to getting things done. 4 minutes remaining, and looks like Craig Jancic might pull it out here tonight.
Nicholas Cope doing battle here with Leo Gausha as this battle here is going for 6th and 7th. But yeah, I mean, it's so tough to try and nail any track lap after lap. But again, it's just really the first half of this track that really comes at you, and then the second half is when you can kind of do your battle. You really have to settle in unless you get a good run on that final corner like Jancic did to originally take the lead here tonight into turn number 1. That's certainly a passing opportunity into 1, but good battle right here as Coates maybe taking a page out there as Gausha protects the inside. He's going to have to try and go around the outside on that Mercedes, but get a little bit dirty out there in the marbles. Gausha going to hold on to 6th place for the time being, but he's trying to make the Mercedes 3 or 4 cars wide right now. And oh, by the way, Bryce Reiner sneaking his way up into the mix of things here, seeing if he can try and pick off a couple positions with Coat and Gaucher going at it.
I'm trying to see if there's what kind of battles we got going out throughout the field here, and it does look like obviously Coat being one of them in there, and then back a little bit with Jenkins and Torville. Not too bad of a battle, and got a couple towards the back, but everybody seems to be pretty spread out. Looks like Glenn Lawson, a pretty decent battle there as well, and that Corvette sneaking up there on I think it's Ayers in front of him, and then Glenn right behind him.
We are down to the final 2 minutes plus a lap here as it got real close there, and Reiner had to back out of it going through the chicane to finish this lap out. He's going to lose a bunch of time here as this little battle has spread out. We'll see if it gets back to closer, but right behind them, a little battle brewing as well as Tyler Torville has caught up to Anthony Jenkins. There's a battle for 9th and 10th. Demerara right there, still trying to get himself up there in that top 10. This could be the opportunity that he needs if these cars start battling in front of him. You see it right there. And heading into the S's, already reeling them in. And possibly a chance to have a 3-way battle here for 9th, 10th, and 11th to finish it out. But I see smoke here coming out of 5. I didn't see any cars off the track. I do see this right here, though. This is where the smoke came from. Our good buddy Joe Sullivan just having a bit of fun going through turn number 5. Didn't damage the car at all, so I would still consider that a success through turn number 5. He survived. Maybe it wasn't the fastest way through there, but he made it through nonetheless. But down the backstretch here, Torville is going to have a mirror full of Morera, and now Morera steps out. Looks to break late down into the chicane, gets to the inside, side by side. Close to rubbing there, and this has now brought Frank Bassano up here into the mix as he snuck in here now, going through the final corner. Heck of a save right there. As you've seen, off in the corner, the white flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go as Morera goes to the inside. A little bumping and banging with Torville heading up into 3. This is a very tight little corner to get in there side by side, but they do it heading into the S's. And how about the defense there from Torville holding off Morera? This thing is not over just yet. And right behind him, Bassano looking to try and get 2 positions here and sneak his way up into the top 10. Heck of a battle at the front. It is all Craig Jancic as he's coming through the final chicane. He is going to claim the victory here tonight. Chris Hamilton in 2nd place as he did get around Devin Young. Right there, your winner, the 88 of Craig Jancic, taking it down. We'll head back over here down the backstretch to watch this thing play out. Morera right in the middle, looking for a way around, dives to the outside now, trying to break late on the outside to get it done. And he is going to. What a move there. And Bassano now sends it in there on Torville. Going to be side by side down the hill. Who's going to get the edge at the line? It is going to be Torville as Morera gets sent into the wall, but he is still getting credited. Actually,
somebody parked him.
Yeah,
that's straightaway.
A 66 there of Gaucher parks in the straightaway. It's actually showing, Morera there in 10th place. Torville and then Bassano, that was very close. 0.04 of a second separating them. Jason Shermatz is going to be your winner here in the M class. Ortiz Torres got to come home in 2nd. Brandon Potts in 3rd place, but heck of a run there, heck of a battle. There's always something to watch here in CSRL, man.
I mean, something, it always comes down to a great finish there. Obviously getting together just a little bit, and I'm sure they didn't mean to turn each other. It's definitely, one thing, and then obviously you finish out the race and you go up on a parked car there just after the start-finish line. It's always a good surprise, I guess, at the end of the race if you're not looking to wreck your car. But yeah, good finish here overall. Good drive by all the drivers. It looks like I think all the results are in. Let's see here. Trying to see if I can see my results. I think it's kind of lagging.
Let's take a look on, excuse me, on my side here and see. Yeah, it looks like the race results are in here for tonight, so come on. There we go. With Jancic doing the burnout on the back and behind him. So Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown of our final results here tonight?
Yeah, final results here. This Craig Jancic will bring home the overall win over Christopher Hamilton and Devon Young. Then Colin Winslow, Savani there for your top 5. Nicholas Cody in 6th, Leo Gouchon in 7th, Bryce Reiner in 8th, Anthony Jacobs in 9th, and Dan Marrera will be your top 10. And then I think we got Tyler Torville there in 11th, Frank Pisano in 12th, Jason Shormetz in 13th, Christian Torres in 14th, Steve Brown 15th, Brandon Potts 16th, Herb Pineda there in 17th, Sheik Ali in there in 18th, Todd Torville in 19th, Randy Ayers in 20th. 21st would be Glenn Lawson. Arena Dilemma in 22nd, William Burrell in 23rd, Doug Palmer in 24th, Stefan Price in 25th, Joe Sullivan 26th, Ian Wilson will finish in 27th, Dave Jensen in 28th, Ian Southern in 29th, Jay Little in 30th, Steve Santana in 31st, Paul Bailey 32nd, Jim Herrick in 33rd, and Jason Potts will round out your 34-car field here tonight.
Once again, a heck of a race here from the drivers and CSRL. Well, we got a chance, and while we're waiting for the drivers to populate the waiting room and get ready for their interviews, we'll go ahead and take care of our sponsor reads here for CSRL. And once again, want to thank all the sponsors that help out here for CSRL. 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 sim racing shoes, custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. At SimCraft, they create the most advanced customizable simulators for drivers and enthusiasts alike. Whether you're a professional racer looking for precision training or a home user seeking an immersive experience, SimCraft delivers unparalleled performance. SimCraft is trusted by real-world professionals with over 74 championships, including 18 in 2024. Their advanced simulators provide unmatched precision and performance, empowering drivers to excel at every level. Join the ranks of champions who rely on SimCraft to elevate their training and development. For Modern PC, they are focused on providing high-quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. If your investment in sim racing is exactly the same as racing with an actual car, they take that same methodology at Martin. From the engine PC to the chassis rig, pedals, wheels, and shifter, you deserve components that match your desire to compete. We've got our drivers, at least most of them here, ready for their interviews, so I think it's about time we start bringing them in. And looks like we are up. There we go. Just about to say we're missing Devin Young, and he just popped in here right on time. So we'll go ahead and start with our third place finisher here tonight, and that is going to be Devin Young. And Devin, heck of a run for you guys up front once again. Unfortunately, Craig kind of slipped away there in the second half of the race, but man, you guys had a heck of a battle between yourself, Hamilton, and Winslow for the entire race, let alone for the second half.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, the first half, I made a mistake in, I don't know what turn it was, heading onto the main straight there. First lap, and let Craig through, which cost me a bit. And then, after that, you just sit in the tow for a bit and keep it clean for a while. Eventually, Craig got past, got through into the lead, and then I passed Colin as well before the pit stops there. Yeah, and I took two tires in the pits, and I thought I had really good pace coming out. I got stuck behind a little bit of a lap car, my out lap I think it was, and Craig got me, and then I had to repass him, and then I actually had closed the gap to Craig. No, sorry, Colin. I'd get Colin, And then I closed the gap to Craig. I think I got it down to 1.8 or something like that from 4 seconds. So I was feeling like maybe I had a shot, although there wasn't very many laps left. And then, the last 2 laps, they were really frustrating. So,
I mean, it seemed like you guys really couldn't have a chance to look forward too much. I mean, it was constantly looking in the rearview mirror. I guess if you're the third one in line there, that's about the only chance you had to look forward. But I mean, you couldn't really ever settle into a groove because there was always somebody kind of nipping at your heels. Do you feel like that helps you out in a race like this, or does that hurt you?
It's both. I mean, it depends on your mentality, right? You got to keep an eye out front. It depends on your mentality. You got to watch behind, but you if you're thinking about trying to get the guy in front instead of trying to lose the position to the guy behind, it's a bit more fun. Which today I thought I had. Sometimes I don't have the pace compared to a couple of these guys. Today I thought I did. I thought I don't want to say this in a bad way. I thought I had it about the same pace, maybe a tiny bit faster than Craig, which is saying a lot. Again, I think I made the right call in taking 2 tires on the left side, and I thought I had the pace in the second half, maybe because of that. I don't know if Craig did or not. And then I just came up on a lap car there, 2 laps to go, and I think I lost 3 seconds, and then got passed by Chris. So that was pretty frustrating, but it was fun. I mean, this league's awesome. The racecraft between Chris got me with a nice move. It was super clean. I know that when me and Colin battled there, I thought it was excellent. I don't think we touched or anything, and I think we battled a couple times. It was awesome. So a lot of fun here in CSRL.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of a big thing too, because you can very easily get your elbows out, because it really, that kind of the big passing zone here tonight was obviously down in the chicane, and it's tough enough going through there 1 wide, but when you're 2 wide, it's very easy to get the elbows out whether you want to or not. But a lot of clean racing, especially from you guys up front. So congrats on the podium here tonight. I know you wanted it a little bit higher, at least second, and possibly a chance at first, but either way, a podium nonetheless. So good run here tonight.
You might be gone.
Oh, you got me?
Hey, you there? Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah, there we go. I was just saying, congratulations on the 3rd place here tonight. We'll give you a chance to give any shout-outs that you may have.
Oh, no, just thanks to you guys. Thanks to the guys that run the league. They do a great job. And everyone in the league. I mean, it's a lot of fun racing Wednesday nights, and I think it's pretty cool that we get to do this in today's day and age, and I always look forward to Wednesdays.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats on the 3rd place here tonight. We'll see you next week. Hopefully you can keep that pace up.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
3rd place finisher here tonight, the 15 of Devin Young. 2nd place is going to be the 20 of Chris Hamilton.
Hey, Chris, Jimmy, and Carl, and Booth, copy.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, you come back to get yourself a 2nd place finish here overall at Road Atlanta. I know it's a pretty favorite track amongst a lot of drivers. But give us a little rundown of how your race went for you. They ended up giving you that 2nd place finish.
I'm truthfully out of breath. The pace tonight was quite frankly uncomfortable for me. These guys are doing like 18.5s, and I was somewhat okay in the 18.9s, but that wasn't gonna be good enough. So I had to just kind of latch on, do what I do best, of latch on, be there at the end, and then when mistakes started happening, I was there to capitalize. And I'm pretty proud of that pass. I hope that caught on the broadcast.
Yeah, definitely a good pass there at the end to get that 2nd place, and just kind of keep giving yourself a solid platform there for going in towards the second half of the season for finishing up the season here for your CSRL. So again, just congratulations, man. Just wanted to say congratulations and give you a little bit of time for any shots you may have on that car.
A huge shout out to Barcelona Cruz for the fun iRacing paint scheme. It's always a good time. It was good to see Devin and Colin back up there. It was really, really close racing between the 4 of us. Those guys have me on raw speed. I think I got him a little bit in the pits, but we'll see. Just minimizing mistakes and maybe beating Craig here and there. He's crazy good, but he pushes all of us to be better. And thanks to all the CSRL guys for coming out. Pretty good turnout. And thank you guys for the broadcast, as always.
I really appreciate you being out there and all the other drivers as well. So I definitely look forward to catching you on the out there. So anyways, we'll let you go celebrate your second place finish.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
Yep.
Is your second place finisher here, the 20 of Chris Hamilton, winner of the race. And the man that just kind of, it took him a little bit to finally get up to that top step, but he ran away once he did. Craig Jansen. Craig, you're in here, and you lost the lead in the points last week. It was a bit of a maybe a disappointment last week at Circuit Zandvoort, with mainly the pit road penalty kind of holding you back from a chance at the win, let alone a podium. But tonight, a little bit of redemption.
Yeah, big redemption, man. Thank you. Yeah, what a patient, meticulous race that I run, and that's not really like me. I prefer to hold the wheel so hard that my hands hurt at the end of these things. And realistically, I was just saving gas sitting there. Once I saw that I was able to save gas and gain on Colin at the same time, I kind of had a good idea of what the fate was, as long as I didn't make a fatal error like I have, last week and at Long Beach and all that other stuff. So really good feeling to get back on the right track here. The Acura really wasn't the car that I would have wanted. It was really, this is one where you always kind of want the Huracan because it takes the curb so well, but Acura is a close second. It was really able to get bouncy in a predictable way, and overall the handling and the experience was really good out here tonight.
It seemed like that Acura kind of either the Acura came to life in the second half of the run, or it was the Porsche that just kind of died out with the tires. What do you think it was? Because it seemed like Colin Winslow had a good hold on this race, but then kind of second half of the run of the tires, it seemed you were able to reel him in and eventually make that pass.
The political answer is probably both, but as a guy that just has never gotten his head around the Porsche tire, I'm going to say it was probably how hard you are on these tires here at Road Atlanta. It's a pretty old surface. There's a hell of a lot of right turns. That left front is screaming. I'm really leaning towards that. At least if I was in the Porsche, that's certainly how my event would have fared. The Acura, you could feel tire wear. But also I've found a way to kind of sit it on the rear tires and get some wear and temperature in it that way. It really fits my driving style. And every week that we go by here, every lap that I put in the Acura, I think I get a little bit more comfortable. So I'm feeling really happy about that.
Well, you talk about right-hand turns, and you got a few of them coming up next week as well. Donington Park, you want to talk about a track that really doesn't get a lot of usage. I mean, the Circuit Zandvoort was certainly one of them, but it seems like it's coming a bit more into the fray lately. Donington, I feel like it's kind of a lost art form to get around that track.
Tell me more. Keep talking, because I don't know a thing about it. I don't even know if I own it. I don't think I've ever turned a lap there. I don't really, if it's a lost art, maybe it's deep in the YouTube archives that we'll have to go to try to get some lessons from people that are a lot better than me as I learn how to tackle that place. No one's ever told me that they hate it, so I guess that's something.
It's certainly one where it's a little bit like Road Atlanta in the sense that it can be tight in the first half of the track, and you really have to just be patient. But then the second half of the track opens up a little bit, a couple passing opportunities, chicane, hard hairpin, and then followed by another hairpin to finish out the lap. So it's got probably a little bit more passing opportunities at Road Atlanta, but the fact that it's probably foreign, quite literally, to a lot of these drivers out here could make it very interesting.
Yeah, nice pun. I think I think that is always a good variable. I do like when iRacing throws a somewhat random, out of character track at us. The last week we had the trucks at Stafford Motor Speedway in NASCAR, and that's way out of left field. So maybe this winter season they try to keep things spicy and I can really get behind that. I'm really okay with those choices from iRacing and the schedulers. I think they do a really good job with variety. I think they do a really good job globe hopping as well. You don't ever feel like you're stuck in America or stuck in Europe when you're following the GT3 schedule, which I really, really appreciate about the way that iRacing structures the schedule. So we'll give it our best shot. I wish I had more to say about the forecast. Not the weather forecast. We know that'll be dry. But the actual what to expect on track, I ain't have a clue, brother.
Well, if the second half of the season is anything like the first half here, I think the forecast is going to be a heck of a battle for the points championship, because you, Hamilton, Winslow, I mean, you guys don't seem to be leaving each other alone at any track here this season. So congrats on the win here tonight. Before we let you go, who you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, throw Devin in that mix too, because he's right here with us. He's turned what has kind of, at the last season looked like a big 2, and now we got a big 4. And I love that. But thanks to you guys at Core Racing Network. Always the best. I know I beat a dead horse with it, but I mean, these broadcasts just are so fun. You guys keep it so entertaining, and we're taking GT3 cars to a track every Wednesday night, but there's always great coverage and great spice. So thank you, and that goes off to the competitors as well, because without this 34 car field, man, 34, we're really keeping numbers going here, and I love that for us, and I love that for you guys, and I love that for the viewers at home. Thanks to everybody that supports me: Team Conti Sim Performance, Digital Sim Sports, Studio 3, Martin PC, Sim Magic, Mom, Dad, Aunt Sandy, Anna. Thanks for always supporting me. And how about those Chiefs?
Oh, no.
And that's going to be it for Craig Jansick here tonight. Well, either way, like I said, congrats on the win here tonight. It's certainly going to get those point standings real nice and tight heading into a bit of an unknown next week at Donington, let alone rest of the schedule. I mean, Mount Panorama right after that in Hockenheim are going to be very fun. So take your time, celebrate this one here tonight. Get yourself brushed up on some Donington knowledge. We'll see you next week.
Good deal, man. Take care.
Winner here tonight, Craig Jansick in the 88. Now we'll switch it over to the AM side and grab in our third place finisher here tonight, which is going to be the 25 of Brandon Potts.
Hey, Brandon, it's Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
Copy. How y'all doing?
Oh, not too bad. It's good to get you up here in the booth and talk to you a little bit. Give us a little rundown on how your race was here tonight.
Pretty good race. Especially because I kind of didn't really practice that much like I wanted to. But I think I had decent pace. The front guys, they just got away a little bit early. There was no catching them. Had a nice little battle with a few people around me, so that was kind of fun. And then me being able to go that one extra lap, I think really helped me with gas, because I ran out of gas 2 stalls before my stall. So when I stopped the car in the pit, it turned off. So like I was out of gas. But with me being able to do that one extra lap, I think it helped. Kind of like with like a little mini overcut, and I gained like 3 seconds on people my pit, I think it says 39 seconds, 39.8, and a lot of the people around me were like 41, 42. So that helped out a lot.
Yeah,
2 positions off of that.
It's amazing how easy it is to gain them positions in the pits. It's a big talking point from myself and Carl a lot of times, or we ask ourselves and maybe in general, hoping that the drivers have practiced their pit stops in order to make those easy positions and not have a mistake. We've seen it hurt people last week and really didn't catch anything this week, but I'm sure there were some people that maybe wanted a better pit stop. But you come away here with that third place finish here in the AM, and obviously looking forward to the second half of the season and some nice tracks coming up for you. Something a little bit. I think you guys follow the GT3 series, so definitely get some time, a little bit of practice, maybe in the early beginning of the week to maybe get a refresher out there with the general population, but. Either way, we wanted to say congratulations on that third place finish and give you a little bit of time for any shouts you might have on that vehicle.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you. I want to thank one, my teammate Colin. He came in fourth, looks like. He's the one who did the paint job for the team. That was great. Brandon Powell couldn't make it today, but he popped in my stream or whatever. He was letting me know kind of what position I was in, which helped a lot because sometimes you don't know where you're at in the amateur class. So he was letting me know, like, hey, you're in fourth, you're in third, you're catching, things like that. So that was great. Shout out to the Miss, the baby. They got to see the beginning part of the stream, and she went and put baby to sleep. And then ZFG Racing, and everyone else who comes by and either follows the stream or us, whether we're sim racing or bowling or anything like that. So Phoenix Nest TV on like all of our socials, and we just try to have fun and just include everybody, and just we're here for positivity.
Yeah, so just all the fans out there that are still hanging around, if you're interested in seeing POV of some CSRL drivers out there on their tracks, go ahead and look up our third place finisher here, and visit their stream, give them some support over there. They're always everybody's always looking for some love in their communities over there. I know it's not easy being a streamer for sure. I can never seem to muster up the consistency of viewers to even get to an affiliate. So just keep it going, keep it trucking, buddy, and congratulations on their third place finish, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thank you, and thanks to y'all for the broadcast, and y'all have a wonderful night.
You too, buddy. That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 25 of Brandon Potts. Second place in the AM class is going to be the 11 of Christian Ortiz-Torres. Christian, the good string keeps going here. You get yourself another podium position, and tonight it may help even more. I mean, you come in here with a nice spot in the points in third place there, a decent amount behind Eli Singh, but no Eli here tonight. Eric has some issues. Glenn Lazan finishes outside the top 5. I mean, the only other driver there close to you in the points, Randall Ayers, just finishes barely into the top 5. So this has got to feel like one heck of a good run here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely was expecting this one to be a tough race. I took advantage of where I started and sticking with the pros and sticking as long as I could. And from there, I think I had just to keep my pace. And as soon as I started to get pace, I kept going. And once I hit a little bit of traffic, I didn't want to get involved, so I went into the pits early, and that took me out, and I was still by myself. So today was just keeping my pace and just keeping the car on the track.
So turn 5 here at the bottom of the S's is certainly a talking point. It's a scary point for me, and it certainly claimed a few victims here tonight. Do you feel like that's questionably the toughest corner here at this track? I know turn 3, with it being a little bit blind there, can be a little tough as well.
Yeah, definitely 5, and for me it was 3, the one where you're blind. But I think as you do more laps, you get used to it, and you find that nice place to aim. And and then after that is survive the S's and make sure you get good on the brakes for turn 5. Otherwise, either you go wide, cars loses its rear, or
well,
and it can be over there.
Well, you come home with a second place in the AM class. Jason was just a little bit too far up the road for you to catch, but 14th place overall, second place in the AM class, and like I said, none of your points competitors anywhere close to here tonight. So congrats on the great finish here tonight. Maybe reeling yourself a little bit closer to that top step in the points. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Shout outs to CFG, my family in Denver, and my woman.
All right, buddy. We'll keep this good string alive here. We'll see if you can do another podium next week at Donington.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Second place finisher in the AM class here tonight, 14th overall, the 11 of Christian Ortiz-Torres. Finally, last interview we'll get to is your winner here tonight in the AM class. Finished 13th overall, but took the win in the AM class, the 77 of Jason Shermetz.
Hey, Jason, Jimmy Carl up in the booth. You got me.
We got you loud and clear.
Hey, it's good to hear you. Great finish here tonight. Congratulations on that first place finish. Obviously, Road Atlanta being a favorite for amongst drivers. Obviously, special events and all kinds of things go on here at this track. Give us a little rundown on how your race was for us tonight.
Well, on the track topic, this is a love-hate track for me, especially with this car that I drove, the McLaren. When it feels good, it feels great. But when it doesn't, it has the ability to fling you off in spectacular fashion. Good thing is it didn't happen to us tonight. I really wanted to give the pros sort of their breathing room. This is my only second race of the season so far. I don't get to come out much. So I wanted to let some of the pros sort of filter through and then see if I had anything for Doug Palmer. He was extremely quick today. I felt like I was bringing a knife to a gunfight, but I saw that he had a little incident, and then the door opened for me to just run a clean race. And we were able to come away with not only my first win of the season, but first with CSRL on a whole. And no better place to celebrate it than with the Core Racing Network.
Well, it's a good thing, you got out there and you decided to show up here tonight at Road Atlanta, getting that first win. It's always a good milestone in any league, putting your stamp on that you have the ability to run with your competitors and be, a guy to be watched and reckoned with. And, some people probably might start seeking you out and seeing what kinds of tips and tricks you got to get those vehicles around what track you might be at. But you did a great job tonight. You said you obviously you looked at the bigger picture, and I think as an AM driver, I think sometimes you lose focus of like who you're really racing, and you try to race your hardest. And when you take that time and realize maybe you're so far ahead of your competitors, you can get a lot cleaner race and not put yourself in a situation where you could end up ruining your race or somebody else's. But you did a great job tonight. You walk away in that first place here for that AM division, and obviously we hope to see you back out here more than just once or twice more for the rest of the season, as we're about halfway through now. So again, congratulations on the win, and we'll give you a little time for any shouts you might have in that car.
Just want to thank my wife for giving me the opportunity to come down in the basement and give it hell. So shout out to her and all the competitors in the CSRL. Great league. And of course, you guys always do a fantastic job on the broadcast. So thanks for everything you guys bring to the table. Really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it, but we want to be here unless you guys are on the track. So again, congratulations on that win, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Sounds good. Thanks, fellas.
That is your winner here tonight in the AM class, the 77 of Jason Shermatz, as my mouse is just getting wonky. There we go. All right. That is going to do it for our broadcast here tonight for CSRL. Again, another good showing, a nice size field for them, and really a good showing just from the driving aspect as well. A lot of drivers being able to conquer this track here tonight. Most survived turn 5. A few certainly got bit by the bug there, got bit by the exit of 5, and taking that curbing just the wrong way is gonna let you know, and it's gonna let you know quick. But it was a good one here tonight. Hopefully you all enjoyed it out there. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. But for myself and Jimmy from Road Atlanta, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.